Bye.
Now, I am about to interview each of our 12 semifinalists, a part of our pageant which I particularly enjoy. The young ladies don't know the questions, and nobody knows what the answers will be. Over the years, it's been a part of the pageant that has provided some insights and also some surprises. At the end of each interview, our television audience will see the contestants' average score in this part of the competition. Now, I remind you that the scores will not be seen by our panel or our contestants or our audience here in the theater. The Miss USA interview competition begins with you, Miss Georgia. Come right over here to me. She is Dotsy Tim. She lives in Augusta. She's 22 years old, and she attends the Medical College of Georgia. And what are you studying, Miss Georgia?
Studying to become an occupational therapist.
And what does an occupational therapist do?
We do a little bit of everything.
What's the next step in your training?
I hope to work after I graduate and possibly go back and get my graduate degree.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that you do a little bit of everything, you do work on the human body, do you?
Yes, sir, we do.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What do you do to the human body?
Different things. Therapy.
Judges, I hope you are not judging her on accuracy here. Well, how about the trip from Georgia? Did you have a nice trip? How'd you get here?
I flew. It was my first flight, so it was quite an experience for me.
Your first flight? Did they lose your luggage?
No, I didn't have any mishaps.
Good. Well, I hope you enjoy your visit to Knoxville. I'm sure you will. Thank you, Miss Georgia. All right, you see her score, and we will ask Miss Washington to step out here. She is Kathy Tucker. She lives in Renton. She's 21. She attends Eastern Washington University. And what do you study?
Business communications.
And what are your plans for the future?
I'd like to complete my education and possibly go on to radio and television.
And I read in your bio that you are a Seagal for the Seattle Seahawks professional football team, and you're the mascot of the Carrier Enterprise.
Yes, sir.
Now, what does a Seagal do for the Seahawks?
They perform at the Seahawk games. We are called Seagals.
And you cheer them on.
Right.
And the way that team is going, you better cheer a little louder.
Hey,
huh?
we got a new coach, and he's going to really show
What do you
for us.
do as the mascot of the Carrier Enterprise?
Well, I've never met any of the Navy people yet. I write to them a lot and just let them know how much we do appreciate all the things they do for us.
You write to the sailors?
Yes, sir.
I guess I was in the Navy at the wrong time. Our mascot was a goat. Thank you, Miss Washington. All right, Miss California, let's talk it over. She is Julie Hayek. She lives in Westwood. She's 22. She's a senior at UCLA. And what do you study?
Psychobiology.
What is psychobiology? I know you do a lot of things, but what is it?
It's a combination of a psychology and biology major, and it relates the mind to the body.
Yes. Now, what do you hope to do someday?
I want to be a dentist. And
Why didn't you say you wanted to be a dentist? How did you decide you wanted to be a dentist?
Well, I like working with people, and I like working with my hands, and I think I'd like the responsibility.
And when you were a little girl, you saw your daddy write the check to the dentist, and you knew you wanted to be a dentist.
I knew. You bet.
All right, thank you, Miss California. See her score at home, but we do not see it here. And now, Miss North Dakota. Miss North Dakota is Elizabeth Ann Jager. She lives in Fargo. She is 23. She is a senior at Morehead State University in Minnesota. And what is your major?
I'm an art major there.
Now, I read that you have been accepted at the Chicago Art Institute. Is that true?
That's true.
Well, you should be very proud. That's one of the most prestigious schools of that sort in the country, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Now, you have come a long way from North Dakota to be here. What comments do you have to make about Southern hospitality?
Oh, Southern hospitality is wonderful. They cook us. They cook us homemade breakfast and homemade lunch and homemade supper and everything.
What are some of these homemade things they've been fixing for you?
Well, the grits that you asked about earlier today.
In rehearsal, I mentioned grits. That's true. And you love grits, don't you?
Oh, with all my heart.
Thank you, Miss North Dakota. Miss Michigan, get on over here. She is Kim Mexicott. She lives in Livonia. She's 21. She models and teaches aerobics. But what would you like to do in the future? What do you want to do, Miss Michigan?
My ultimate goal for a career is to own my own health spa.
Now, you were on modeling assignment in Paris, France with
Yes.
Miss South Carolina, weren't you?
Yes, we lived together for a month.
And I heard a story about some singing that you did over there for profit. Why don't you tell the audience about that?
Okay, we were there in July, and it was the 4th of July, and all Americans wanted to celebrate, so we went down to the Metro, which is the buses that take you all over, and 3 of us, another girl from Louisiana, sang all the American songs, and people threw us money.
And if you missed that concert, their album will be out soon. Thank you, Miss Michigan. Next, we'll meet you, Miss Texas. She is Lisa Allred. She lives in Fort Worth. She's 21. She's a student at North Texas State University, and she was the winner of Miss Photogenic, incidentally. Now, what do you study?
I study fashion merchandising at North Texas State University in Denton.
Now, but you have left school temporarily because of
Right.
so much,
Right.
you have so many responsibilities, Miss Texas. Have you done a lot of traveling?
Yes, I have. I just finished a 5-week tour through the state of Texas, and I've also got to do some international traveling. Went
Where'd
to
you
London.
go? London? Mm-hmm. What did the British ask Miss Texas? What sort of questions did they ask?
They wanted to know if I knew JR. First question.
I'll bet they did. Everyone wants to know that.
Yes, I told them I did.
Thank you, Miss Texas. We'll see Miss Texas's score. And you have met half of our semifinalists. How about it, you armchair judges? Is one of them going to be the new Miss USA?
This is a relatively calm time in the hectic backstage life of this telecast, this live telecast. Woo! Whoa, just like on Knots Landing, everybody pushes me around. You see this 40-watt bulb right here, just like the ones you have at home? Well, to light this stage, it would take nearly 11,000 of these. And of course, there are colors, too. You want a blue? No problem. Give me a blue. See? You want a red? No problem either. Hey, give them a red. See? Piece of cake. You probably thought I could only control the lights. Well, you're wrong. Watch this. Let the waters dance. Fun. Now, you're probably wondering, is there anything that this woman can't do? Yep. She can't tell you how the rest of the interview competition will go, but you can find that out for yourselves right after this word from Loves.
We've had a chance to meet 6 of our semifinalists, and now it's time to talk to the other 6, beginning with you, Miss South Carolina. She was in Paris with Miss Michigan. She is Allison Grisseau. She lives in Colombia. She's 21. She's a model, and I understand you have worked in many places. Where have you modeled?
Yes, I've been to the Philippines, to Caracas, Venezuela, and to Europe.
I understand from your chaperone, as a matter of fact, that you've been receiving a lot of telephone calls from Caracas, Venezuela. Is that regarding a modeling assignment?
Well, yes, I have been modeling there, doing a lot of modeling, and I also have a special someone there.
I got that information from your chaperone, that there was a special someone, and it's costing this special person hundreds of dollars to keep up on your activities here.
Yes, I went down with the visa yesterday.
How did you meet this gentleman?
Well, it was a blind date. I met him through a friend of mine in New York.
How many of you guys have ever gone on a blind date and ended up with someone who looked like this, huh? There's one hand up, and he does not have an honest face back there. Well, I bet your special gentleman in Caracas is watching right now by satellite, because the show is seen in various places live. Do you speak any Spanish?
Sí, señor.
Say something. Beautiful, yeah. Say something to him in Spanish. Quick.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello, how are you?
No, that's not what she said. What she said is, this is big orange country. That's what she said. Thank you, Miss Sarko. Big orange country refers to the Tennessee University football team. Now, I am going to talk with Miss Nevada, who is Krista Elaine Daniel, 18 years old, Las Vegas. And listen to this. She is a senior in high school, she is an automobile mechanic, and she is a magician's assistant. Well, let's start with the high school. Now, if you're a senior in high school, you're missing a lot of things right now. How about exams?
I'm missing all my exams, but I'll be taking them as soon as I get back in school.
And the senior prom?
I missed it.
And have you been studying since you've been here?
No, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Have you written all your papers for the year and everything?
Yeah.
Have you?
Uh-huh.
Good. I was hoping you could go home and write on the social significance of grits after tonight.
Well, no.
What about being an automobile mechanic? Now, what does that refer to?
I work on my own car.
Well, can you honestly fix your own car?
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, if you become Miss USA, you'll have a chauffeur-driven limousine. But if it breaks down, it'll be no problem for you,
I
right?
can just fix it.
And you're a magician's assistant.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I am David Copperfield, magician. I'm his assistant.
Oh, David Copperfield?
Yes.
Well.
I've been his assistant since January.
If you are David Copperfield's assistant, you'll know exactly what to do when I say, presto changeo, abacadabra. Disappear. There you go. It is Miss Oklahoma next. She is Mignon Merchant. She lives in Oklahoma City. She's 21. She's a senior at the University of Oklahoma. And what is your major at the university?
Journalism.
And I read that you won Southwest Journalism Conference Award first place.
Right.
Tell us about that.
I won a first place award for sports writing.
And what did you write about?
The Russian national wrestling team came to Oklahoma, and they wrestled a national team from around the United States in Norman, where our school is. And I covered the event and did a feature on the differences between wrestling in the United States and wrestling in the Soviet Union.
Well, what were your impressions of these Russian wrestlers?
They were very nice, very jovial, very excited to be in America. They liked Western clothes very much.
Are you going to write anything about the pageant?
As a matter of fact, I am. I'm doing a piece for our alumni newspaper on how the press has been covering the event.
You are? Mm-hmm. If you do write something, remember it's Barker. B-A-R-K-E-R. No. Okay. Thank you. Check her score and talk with Miss New York. Miss New York is Jennifer Ann Michaelinich of Huntington, Long Island. She's 20. She's an account executive for a sportswear firm. But what would you like to do in the future?
I'd like to go back to school to be an elementary school teacher because I hold somewhere in my heart a very special fondness for small children.
Good for you. Now, you have come quite a way here from New York. Have you traveled much?
Well, about 4 years ago, I had a very large opportunity to travel with my family. For 3 months, they took me out of school, and we toured the entire coast of the United States in a travel trailer.
Oh, my goodness, that is a big trip. What was your favorite place all along the coast?
Probably California.
What did you like in California?
It's a lot like New York. It's fast-paced, and people dress basically the same. They just hang out in their shorts and sloppy and...
Miss California, and I thank you very much for the way you've summed us up. Thank you, Miss New York. Miss Louisiana, I'd like to talk with you. She's Pamela Forrest. She lives in Baton Rouge. She's 20. She is a model. She's a busy girl. She's a model, a modeling instructor, and she's studying acting. Now, if you're a model and an actress, we've been talking about assignments. What are some of the things that you've done, Miss Louisiana?
I do a lot of convention and promotional work, and I've been in a few films that they filmed throughout Louisiana.
What film?
The Toy, I was a cheerleader, and Dixie, I was an extra there, so I'm just really starting out. I'm studying.
Have you done any commercials?
Yes, a few local commercials.
What sort of things have you done?
For dress shops and other products at home, billboards and things like that.
Did you have speaking lines in the movie?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes,
What'd you
I had
say?
2, and they both got edited out.
Oh, poor baby. You're just edited out again. Goodbye. And Miss Pennsylvania. She is Julie Page. She lives in Bell Vernon. She's 18. She's a senior in high school, and she won Best State Costume. Now, you are about to graduate from high school, Miss Pennsylvania. What do you plan to do?
I plan to attend Syracuse University.
What do you want to study?
I would like to study a dual major in marketing and design.
Now, you're down here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and this is not only, I'm almost afraid to say it because we'll get that cheer, Big Orange Country, but it's also country music country. Now, have you heard any country music?
Yes, I have. I especially enjoy the Gatlin Brothers because I've got to meet them personally.
Have you ever bought a Gatlin Brothers record?
Yes, I did. As soon as I found out that the Gatlin Brothers were going to be on here, I told my mom. She went to the store and she bought all their albums.
All of them? Old Larry's going to be able to buy a new guitar pick, thanks to your mama. Thank you, Miss Pennsylvania. Our judges, both our panel here and you armchair judges at home, have observed our 12 semifinalists in the interview competition, and I have only one more question to ask, and that's directed to you right there at home. Have you changed your mind, or are you sticking with your first choice?
Competition concluded. We have 2 more steps, evening gowns and swimsuits, before our 12 semifinalists become our 5 finalists. And the computer here tells us that the first place gal was Miss Texas, second place was North Dakota, and third was Miss California. Ahead are the other 2 competitions, but before that, we're going to meet our panel of celebrity judges and hear from some very talented citizens of Tennessee, Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers. That's right after this word from Secret, the official antiperspirant of the 1983 Miss USA pageant. What?
As we said, she's now a successful model and television actress who has already appeared on the CBS daytime drama As the World Turns, and yet it was only 1 year ago that she concluded her reign as Miss USA. Kim Sealbreed. Our next judge was an outstanding running back for the Cornell football team before moving on to play 6 years in the National Football League. Today is known to millions of television. Our next judge completed her college education and was named one of the outstanding young women of America. In addition to
Miss USA 1980, and we're in the dressing room where our semifinalists are getting ready for their swimsuit competition. Tell me, is this a nervous time for the young ladies, Janine?
I'd say right now they're a little more excited than nervous. Nervous comes when Bob is announcing the names of the 12 semifinalists.
Well, do you remember how you felt during your pageant at this time?
I think the word for it is numb, completely numb.
Well, I want to tell you, you look absolutely stunning tonight in that gown.
Oh, thank you. This gown was done for me by the designer Akira, who also did another former Miss USA's gown, Kim Dutton, and this year's Miss USA, Terry Utley, and also Karen Baldwin, this year's Miss Universe.
Oh, they're gorgeous gowns. Before we see them in their gowns, though, we're going to be seeing our contestants in their swimsuits. Oh, there they go. Go, girls. The swimsuit competition is coming right up, and it takes place right after this from Cascade.
Every day. The Miss USA pageant is most appreciative of the support of the citizens, business communities, and governments of cities all across our country who have helped to make the pageant a national event. Tonight, each contestant will appear in the official JCPenney Miss USA swimsuit. The judges' scores will again be fed into our computer, and the computer in turn will come up with an average score for each candidate. That score will appear immediately on the television screens of our home audience. In a setting which pays tribute to the iris, the state flower of Tennessee, we present 12 of our nation's loveliest young women in the Miss USA swimsuit competition. Miss Georgia.
Zotzi has hazel eyes and blonde hair. She's 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 118 pounds.
Miss Washington.
Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, Kathy weighs 118 pounds. She's 21 years old, has blue eyes and blonde hair.
Miss California.
Julie is a green-eyed blonde. She's 22 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, and weighs 125 pounds.
Miss North Dakota.
Elizabeth is 23 years old, 5 feet 7.5 inches tall, and weighs 123 pounds. Her eyes are green and her hair is black.
Miss Michigan.
Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, Kim weighs 125 pounds. She has blue eyes and brown hair and is 21 years old.
Texas.
Lisa is a blue-eyed blonde. She's 21 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall, and weighs 115 pounds.
Miss South Carolina.
One-year-old Allison has blonde hair and green eyes. She weighs 115 pounds and is 5 feet 7 inches tall.
Miss Nevada. 20-year-old Jennifer has brown eyes and blonde hair. She's 5 feet 8.5 inches tall and weighs 118 pounds. Miss Oklahoma.
21 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall, and weighs 118 pounds. She has green eyes and black hair.
Miss New York.
I think this is Miss Nevada, and this is Krista, who has blonde hair and green eyes. She's 18 years old, weighs 125 pounds, and she's 5 feet 9 inches tall.
Now I wonder who this will be. Miss X. I hope it's Louisiana.
You're right, Bob, it's Louisiana. Pamela is 20 years old, 5 feet 9 inches tall, and weighs 130 pounds. She has blonde hair and hazel eyes.
And now come out, whoever you are. Miss Pennsylvania.
Julie is a green-eyed blonde. She's 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs 110 pounds, and is 18 years old.
There are the 12 semifinalists in tonight's swimsuit competition.
Contestants fill out a questionnaire before the pageant, and one of the questions is, who do you think is the greatest person in the world? Well, there was a tie for the first place this year. 8 contestants answered Pope John Paul II, while 8 others answered my mother. Congratulations to all those moms. Yeah, give them a hand. Okay. Now, 2/3 of the semifinal competition has now been completed, and in our swimsuit competition, the first place went to Miss California, second place was Miss Texas, and third place was Miss Nevada. Ahead, now we have a country music classic with our contestants and Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers, after this word from Safeguard.
With the title of Miss USA goes tremendous prestige, as well as the opportunity to represent our country in the Miss Universe pageant, which will be